Have you heard the secret of what New Orleans is talking about? I promise everything will be okay if you're listening here on the airwaves. It's that WBOK 12:30 a.m.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. New York City is fully funding a $400 million redesign of Fifth Avenue. The plan cuts traffic lanes from 5 to 3 and nearly doubles pedestrian space. Mayor Eric Adams says pedestrian traffic makes up 70% of Fifth Avenue, but sidewalks only account for 46% of space.
No more crammed sidewalks, no more dodging traffic. We're making Fifth Avenue more walkable, greener, and safer.
Final designs are due this summer, but construction will begin until 2028. Cleanup efforts are underway after severe storms slammed communities from the lower Ohio and mid-Mississippi valleys to the southeast. Tornadoes were reported in Alabama, Tennessee, and Illinois last night. And Chris Brown is out on bail after a hearing in London today. A British judge allowed Brown to be freed on a $6.7 million bail after he was denied bail last week. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily express the views or opinions of Equity Media, its management, staff, or affiliates of WBOK.
Greetings and salutations. Good afternoon, listening audience of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce radio show. I am your host for today. My co-pilot is not with us. I am Edward B. Coulon Smith, the chairman of the board for the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. And today, my guest is my friend, my brother, entrepreneur, author, and filmmaker, Brother Russell Kelly. So, Brother Russell Kelly, I have you in the hot seat today. It's not going to be a hot seat, but you know this is who you are. This is what you do. So, will you please tell the listening audience, who is Russell Kelly?
Well, Brother Coulon, Russell Kelly is a 59-year-old black male turning 60 June 21st. Whom
Happy early birthday.
Thank you. Whom wake up every morning and try to get it right. I'm talking about life. I try to get life right through all relationships, as a father, as a friend, as a brother, as an uncle, as a mate. I just try to get life right. And what I try to do, who Russell Kelly is someone who, a black male whom has been on the journey of turning my pain into God's purpose for my life.
Deep. Deep, deep, deep. So what led you to write Daddy's Cry Too?
I'm glad you asked me that question because I noticed when you post it, you put D-I-E-S. All right? And I titled my book D-I-D-D-Y with S in parentheses. And the reason being is, here's what made me write my book. Jade is 36 years old. She's severely autistic. She was diagnosed with autism 34 years ago. Jade is severe. She's a level 3 nonverbal autism. And her mother and I got divorced in April of 2000. Her mother remarried in November 2000 to a guy she dated in high school. So from Jay being 11 till she was like 18, every other weekend after we got divorced, I would get Jay, Job, and Russell. And I had to bathe Jay till she was 18. I didn't like it. She didn't like it. I had to change her sanitary napkin. She didn't like it. I didn't like it. So Jay used to look in the mirror and just cry hard through frustration. Cry hard. So I ended my book with, in other words, I'm Jay, Jade is me, that's why I cried too. On November 4th, 2011, 11/4/11, I was summoned into court in St. John Parish, and all my legal rights were taken away from me and given to Jade's stepfather in St. John Parish. So I cried all the way back to New Orleans. So in other words, when I say Daddy cried too, I'm actually talking to Jade.
Ah.
Daddy cried too. And I put the S in parentheses because I'm not the only father who cried. So going through what I was going through with that, going through what I went through with a failed bank as an entrepreneur, I fell into a deep, deep, deep depression.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why I'll get to you why I wrote the book and what made me write the book. I had a 9mm, and I pawned it because I didn't want to kill myself, and I didn't want to hurt somebody else. So through that deep depression, I prayed to God, and He put it on my spirit. Start writing. Start writing about your pain. Start writing about your experiences, and that's what led me to write Daddy Cried Too. I'm actually talking to Jade.
Got it. So, and now that has led to a documentary. So can you please let the listening audience know not only about the documentary, but also about what's going on and what will be happening next month?
All right. What happened was I was sitting in this same seat, but I was on my way to interview with Oliver Thomas.
Okay.
And on my way, he called me and said he had an emergency, he had to do something. And he asked me, he said, if you counsel, I understand, but if not, I have Nicole Collins will interview you. I said, no problem, I can sit down with anybody. I'm just talking about my truth. And she interviewed me. It went well. And about 2 weeks later, she called me, and she was like, Mr. Kelly, I don't know if you know, but I do films and documentaries. She said, but I only do women. I've only done women. But your story is so intriguing. Can we sit down and talk? And from there, she started the process of developing, directing, producing my documentary, Daddy's Cried Too, filmed by Nicole Collins, based on the book by Russell Kelly. And it's me, Jade, Job, Russell, me, my pain, and what have you. And at the World Fest Houston International Film Festival, which is the oldest film festival in the world.
Okay.
1961. Steven Spielberg even won there.
Gotcha.
We won under the category of biography, and the submissions were from 4,300 plus overall submissions, 4,300 plus worldwide. So we won a Remy Award.
Okay.
And I went to Houston and accepted.
What's a Remy?
A Remy Award is named after one of the original guys who did it, and it's for you're the best in your category amongst all submissions, and it's a rigorous judging situation. Also, and I have to add this, it was at the River Oaks Theater in a ritzy part of Houston, if people are familiar with Houston. And Daddy's Cried Too was the first award called that night. And far as I can remember, I was the only African American in the entire theater.
Wow.
And that same night that Nicole informed me that we had won a Remy Award, I was just elated that we were in a finalist.
Right.
On the week of June 5th, the Charlotte Black Film Festival in Charlotte, North Carolina is doing in-person screening of Daddy's Cry 2 in a cinema on a big screen.
Wow.
That's what's next.
Okay. So they're doing a screening there. Is New Orleans doing a screening of that anytime?
There's a local festival that has offered to basically pay for a venue
Okay.
to do a private screening, but we want to, Nicole and I, we're going to allow the documentary to play out in some of the film festivals outside of Louisiana first, and we just have to give them a date. But there
Gotcha.
will be one.
Okay. So how do you become the businessman that you are? Because I met you as a businessman, as a Zulu brother as well. But then, with your trademarks, with your T-shirts, with all the business adventures that you've done, what made you who you are?
All right. First of all, I graduated in accounting 39 years ago. I worked as an auditor with Touche Ross and Deloitte. Well, then we merged Deloitte and Haskin and Sales, Deloitte and Touche, as an auditor for 3 years, as a consultant for 5 years. I saw business on both sides of the ledger, if you will. Then my daddy, who had only had an 8th grade education, was an entrepreneur. So I had the entrepreneurial spirit in me. And I had an Uncle Sam who always he made a statement, whatever you own, long as you live, own something. I don't care if it's the ground beneath your feet. So I always wanted to own something to leave as a legacy for my kids and my grandkids and my grandkids' kids or what have you. And so what I started doing was...
Well, you had an actual uncle named Sam.
Sam, yeah, Uncle Sam.
Okay,
yeah.
because when you say Uncle Sam,
Samuel,
I'm like, man,
Sam, his
I
name.
didn't know you was in the military, but
Yeah,
okay.
Samuel Kelly.
Okay.
Very smart man. And when Hurricane Katrina hit, I was a real estate developer. When Hurricane Katrina hit, started with one crew, wound up with 37 crews. I knew construction would be the big thing after Hurricane Katrina. I set and passed the state of Louisiana licensing board for building construction, demolition, heavy construction, highway, street, and bridge construction, asbestos removal and abatement. The entrepreneurial spirit, I've been a restaurateur. I've owned and operated 3 restaurants. I was at 26 years old. I was a food vendor at Jazz Fest for 8 years. I was a food vendor at the first 8 Essence Festival in the Coca-Cola Super Lounge, which was the #1 lounge. That's when I met our Zulu brother George Rainey, former king and the late great George Rainey. That's when I first met Burnell Scales at Jazz Fest. Right. So again, I just had the entrepreneurial spirit in me. It wasn't given to me. And for the trademarks, when stuff come to my mind.
And I have that on here. So since you about to talk about it, how many trademarks do you have?
96 right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And when something come to my mind, I trademark it. And it's just, we live in America. We're free to do things.
Right.
And so I advise my son Job, he has like 5 trademarks. He did his first one when he was like 12 years old. Again, it's just, I challenge myself every day. And a trademark is challenging myself.
Okay. So, and speaking of all that, one of the things when your name comes up, everybody always talk about Pampy's. So, and your restaurants and your other businesses that you had. Can you tell us something about that? Because you was telling me something about there was this house that you got it, and
the Crack House.
Can you tell us?
Yeah. Crack House turned incorporated. That's one of my trademarks. 2325 Perdido Street. I purchased a crack house, a dope house, for $2,500. Renovated into a restaurant. Named it after my daughter Jade. Dedicated it to her and her autism. 99.9% of my employees were ex-convicted felons and single females on welfare or some kind of assistance. And I did that to, for one, introduce the community to autism, because in 1994, I didn't know what autism was or what have you. People was like, why you name after your daughter, Jade? Why Jade? Because she's autistic. What's being autistic, or what is autism? And I did it. And like I said, I was 26 years old. NPR, National Public Radio, came down and did a 13-minute, 546-station nationwide documentary on that restaurant.
See. All right, what do you hope that Russell Kelly brings to the community?
I hope Russell Kelly brings to the community that to show people, don't be ashamed of your shortcomings. Don't be ashamed of your failures. See, a lot of us always talk about what we have and what we have done when we're winning.
Right.
What I want to bring to our community is, let me let you experience and walk the journey with me of when I lose, when I've lost, but how I came back, how I was knocked down, how you can be knocked down and come back up and reinvent yourself. That's what I want to bring to the community. You have people, doing their part in our community, like what you do, what you're doing now with this show, how you are a catalyst for the Black Chamber of Commerce, New Orleans Black Chamber of Commerce, the new New Orleans Black Chamber of Commerce. But I feel God give everybody a purpose, and my purpose in this community is to show my pain, to turn my pain into purpose, to help others not make the same mistakes I made. But if you fall and make those mistakes, here's how I overcame my failures, my mistakes. And I'm not ashamed to talk about it. It's in my book. It's in my documentary.
All right. So, and that's a segue, because I was going to ask, how long have you been a member of New Orleans Region Black Chamber of Commerce? And as we say, the new New Orleans Region Black Chamber of Commerce, because I do believe there is a difference. Can you tell us about some of the pitfalls that you've had with the chamber, and also some of the highlights that you've had?
All right. Let's start with the pitfall. I do not advocate, I'm not a friend of people being a part of or doing things, a part of something or doing things for status, for attention, for identity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I start seeing. That's the downfall. I didn't join for people to tell me how many contracts they have, or how many bank accounts they have.
Right.
I joined to be lifted up and to lift up other businesses and other individuals and other professionals, all right? I'll go back to the good things. By me being, this is in 2007, 2008, when I first joined. I remember going to an event in Washington, D.C.,
Right.
and another guy from another chapter joined me, told me, this is Kiki, Russell, this is Kiki, this is Russell Kelly. Y'all do business together, I'm walking off. And from that introduction, I did $1.9 million in work at B.W. Cooper Callio. I did another $1.3 million at De La Fitte. So that was the good, and then the not so good is what I see now.
Right.
Because I guarantee you, you can start a business today, I'll be about to start a business today, and call a very influential, making money businessman, a woman, in the chamber and say, I need $5,000 of startup capital. I'm short $5,000. And they have $100,000, $200,000 in their account. They wouldn't loan it to you. Right. I can remember times I've met businessmen, young businessmen on St. Bernard, gave them money to make their payroll. They paid me back, but gave them money to make their payroll.
Right.
That kind of stuff not going anymore.
So those are the things that we are trying to get rid of, to bring a new And like you said, we're trying to bring it back to where it started, from whence we came. So I do believe we have a call on the line. It's Brother Ed Robinson. Brother Ed Robinson.
Hey, Brother Kelly.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, man. I'm a little older, but we go way back when you had the restaurant.
I remember you did the security for me.
Yeah, I'm still in the security business. Well, my daughters are running it down. But a lot of things you speak of, we did go through. Getting funding, capital, things like that, we couldn't get. We had to make it on our own, So, but it's glad to still hear you. I'm still a member of the Regional Black Chamber. And we're trying to start it over, trying to get it built up to where it was. But it was glad to hear you on the radio with my protege, Mr. Ed, there.
It's good to hear the voice of that institutional knowledge that you carry with yourself as well.
So, and
yes, sir. You've been around, man. Hey, like you say, it ain't where you land, where you are, it's where you land.
Exactly.
So keep up the good work. And hook up with Ed there. But when I heard the radio and I said, oh, man, I hadn't talked to you in years, Russell. But you're still around. I'm glad you're still around, man.
Thank you, sir. I'm glad you're still around. More
yes,
so.
We still there. This is our 49, 50 years, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But we still haven't made it, Ed. I mean, Russell, people think because you've been around, you've made it. You haven't.
Trust me, I understand.
You haven't been able to go other states like big people do. They go from state to state. You still here in the city trying to make it,
I totally understand, sir.
Right. So, hey, man, whenever I see you, I respect you.
Thank you.
I just want you to know that.
Same. Thank you.
All right, Brother Ed. Thanks for
calling.
calling.
All right, guys. Thank you, man, for taking my call. All right.
All right. Hey, and if anybody else have anything they want to add to the conversation, any other questions to Brother Kelly, whether it be business, being an author, being a filmmaker, please dial in at 504-582-9422. And as Brother Robinson and as Brother Kelly said, that we are not the mom and daddy's New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We are the new New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We got a lot of stuff that's on the horizon. And as I come on the show every Wednesday and say, hey, this is our calendar of events. But in order to be a part of those events, you got to be there. So to reach out to be there, reach me at norbcc.chairman2025@gmail.com. And I'm open for any suggestions, any ideas, because I'm one of those people that don't mind getting my hands dirty.
That's right.
I believe in being in the trenches with Lottie, Dottie, and everybody. So I call on you to give us a call, to get on the show, and to get involved. So if you have anything, then you want to call us, please do so. But right now, I got my man, 50 grand, Russell Kelly, Brother Kelly, as Brother Robinson just alluded to. How do you see Russell Kelly contributing to the growth and revitalization of the city of New Orleans and the surrounding area?
To continue my journey, to continue speaking my truth, to continue making myself visible and available to whomever I can help. There are several businessmen in New Orleans and women that have reached out to me, and I've consulted them free of charge. Free of charge because, we need money to live, but I look at money differently. Money comes, money goes. We can't take any of it with us, and that's what I live by now. So, giving back. That's my goal, to give back.
That's what's up. All right, we have Michael on line 1. Michael, you're on the air.
Yes, good afternoon. It's a pleasure to speak to you. It's a pleasure and honor to listen to the things that you have just said to me in the audience. My question to you is pertaining to inventions and patents and also licensing of an invention. And if you have any experience or any guidance, because I'm patent pending with an invention, and I just hired a licensing company to seek for licensing for my idea. But I would like to know your input on that.
Thanks for the question. What I always tell, I live by it, and I always tell individuals, trademark your thought, trademark the name of your patent, trademark it as a logo. The reason being is, in a logo, you have to describe it to a T. If and when you trademark that thought, that name, that slogan, and that logo, if someone come behind you while it's pending for a patent, if someone come behind you and try to duplicate it in any court of law, you can argue and prove that it was your original idea. Am I making sense?
Yes.
So what I would do, first of all, is trademark the name, the slogan of it, the logo of it, which is a drawing of it, and then let the patent process play out, if you will.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mike. Any other questions? All right, I see we have Kwanzaa on line 2. Kwanzaa, you're on the air.
Hi, Uncle Russell.
Hey, Kwanzaa.
I was calling to tell you, you never cease to amaze me. Keep up the good work, and I am honored and proud to call you my uncle.
And I'm honored and proud to call you my niece because you're an entrepreneur yourself. A successful, very successful entrepreneur. Love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
All right. Any other callers? We got about 3 minutes left. Russell.
Yes.
What message do you want to send to aspiring entrepreneurs, authors, and filmmakers? And not just a general global perspective, but as a perspective as a New Orleanian.
All right. First of all, don't be influenced by others. Don't let others kill your vibe, your ideas, if you will. Don't go into business just to be in business. Don't go into business to lose money. Don't accept and sign a contract just to say you have a contract. Because just like you put food on your table, you're putting food on your employee's table. Just like you're paying your bills, your mortgage, your car note, you're paying your employee's mortgage and car note. Don't give it all away. When you're successful in business, people will come at you. Invest into those who appreciate and accept your blessings that you're blessing upon them to refurbish, to grow, to invest into themselves or their business. I've told 2 very successful young entrepreneurs this: don't give it all away. What I mean by that is also, I can sign a contract. It could be a $100,000 contract. It could be $1 million contract. But if it's costing me $1,200, $1,000, $100,000 more than to operate, I'm just signing a contract to have a contract. You can have $1 million contract that can cost you $5 million.
All right, so this is the last question. It's time to go. But Russell,
what's
how
that?
is Jade?
Oh, Jade is good. Jade is good. Jade is Jade. I take her to lunch, to late lunch. I try every week. Some weeks I can't. But we went this past Saturday, and she's good. She had a grilled chicken salad, and once she finished eating, she said, "Mama," and she ready to go back to Mama.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today, Russell. We'll see y'all next week. Tune in 12 noon here, WBOK 12:30 a.m. with the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce radio show. Peace and love always.
Thank you for having me.